welcome to the AJ Awesome Show, a show about my favorite things. My name is AJ, my special guest for this episode is Sean Patrick. I hope you like the show! Why did you start wrestling?
So I started wrestling because about the time I was your age, I watched my first professional wrestling match. I watched King Booker take on Rey Mysterio at Great American Bash for the World Heavyweight Championship. And I fell in love. I fell in love with the sport after that. And just growing up, I knew that it was something I wanted to do. And then finally, I was old enough to start to pursue dreams and things that I wanted to do. And professional wrestling was on that list. So that's why I decided to go to Harley Race's Wrestling Academy. Start there.
What advice would you give a new wrestler that pretty much just started and hasn't even had their first match yet?
So I'm almost in that same boat. I've had my debut match, but the biggest thing that the biggest form of advice I would give is go with the bumps, go with the bruises. It's a very long process. It doesn't happen overnight. I remember when I first wanted to start doing pro wrestling, I had this idea in my head when things would kick off for me, and then 1 year later, and I hadn't even reached that first benchmark, I was like, oh boy, I'm really in for it. So just take the time, soak up the knowledge, and get to know your training partners, get to know your coach, and get to know the sport, and before you start thinking big, start small and get there.
What is your favorite food?
Chinese buffet. I could eat Chinese food 24/7, 365. Sushi is my number one, all day, every day. I really hope to do a tour in Japan, and I love Asian culture, and Asian food is the bee's knees. So, yeah, definitely Asian cuisine.
I love Chinese food, but I don't like sushi.
Oh, man. One of these days, you'll have to give it a go. You'll find the right kind. It'll be perfect for you.
I've already tried a lot of sushi.
Man.
I just don't like it.
What's your favorite kind of Chinese food?
Roast chicken or orange chicken or General Tso's.
General Tso's is so good.
If you could become any animal in the world, extinct or not, which one would you choose?
Any animal, extinct or not. Okay, so probably a tiger. I have tiger tattoos. I love tigers. I like big cats, but specifically tigers, just because of how independent they are and how sly and powerful they are for big cats. But if we're going extinct animal, it'd be a dinosaur and definitely a T-Rex. I'd be the king of the dinosaurs for sure.
The king of the jungle.
King of the jungle.
And before the BCs.
Yeah, especially right before the meteor would have came and take me out. So I don't like being extinct, so I'm going to stick with tigers. We'll say tigers for sure because they're still kicking. Some of them are in zoos and they get to eat a lot and relax and nap all day.
Imagine if a dinosaur survived the meteor.
Well, if a dinosaur survived the meteor, I'd have a better way to get to work, or a more fun way to get to work, that's for sure. I wouldn't be taking the old Corolla around. I'd be rolling in on a velociraptor or a stegosaurus. That'd be my mobile.
What is the proudest moment of your career?
Proudest moment of my career so far, and it's short entirety. My debut was really special. I got hurt while I was in training. Not wrestling related, but I got hurt and that kind of put me back a few months. So when the debut finally came, I was so excited. I was blessed to have friends and family come from out of state, come from all over the place to come and watch me. And I ended up getting the win over a former heavyweight champion, which was awesome. And I just remember hearing the 3 count, leaping forward and looking at a standing ovation. And it was just that was why I started wrestling, was for that moment. And I'm really excited to have that moment night in and night out.
And then he attacked you.
I did get attacked. It wasn't fun. It didn't feel good. And John Webb better watch his back next time I see him because I'm not done with him yet. Definitely not done with him yet.
What if Webb makes you lose the battle royale?
If Webb makes me lose the battle royale, huh? See, then that would be 2 times. That'd be 2 times he'd be going after me. I think some retaliation would have to happen. I beat him the first time. I beat him fair and square, even after he attacked me from behind. So if he wants to come in and cost me a heavyweight championship opportunity, then I really don't think Webb would be leaving the building on 2 feet. That's for sure.
He'll be leaving in a wheelchair.
Oh yeah, maybe 2. Or a stretcher if he's lucky.
What is your favorite Disney movie and why?
My favorite Disney movie. Okay, I have several. But right now, like Moana, that's a solid flick. I love The Rock. The soundtrack in it is amazing. But if I could throw it back, there was a Disney Channel original movie called Luck of the Irish, which when I was like about your age, I watched over and over again every time it was on. It's about this kid who like finds out he's a leprechaun and plays basketball, and it's a solid film. I'm super Irish, so I love that movie.
If he's a leprechaun, why did he choose to play basketball instead of everything else he could do?
So from what I remember in the movie was he didn't know he was a leprechaun. Like he didn't know that he had that heritage. And it wasn't until like some bad leprechauns came that he realized like what his abilities were. And then he was like a high school basketball player. And you know how Disney movies go. Of course, the only way to resolve the issue was over a game of high school basketball. So it's a great movie. It'll be on Disney Plus when that comes out next month, which I will for sure be subscribing to. So,
who had the biggest influence on your career?
Who had the biggest influence on my career? Well, first and foremost, the biggest influence that I've had to have been from Harley. He was the guy that drew me into the school behind his name and his legacy and everything that he had done for the business. And, his school was 15 minutes from where I grew up. I like that small hometown feel. I miss him to death, and he started to teach me everything that I know up until this point. I have other influences that I really like. Those guys like Finn Balor. I'm a big fan of Aleister Black, Kenny Omega. I like to take things. They influence me to become a better wrestler. But at the end of the day, Harley was like the guy, was the reason why I'm able to call myself a professional wrestler now. So I really kind of I'm learning more and more how to embody Harley when I go out there and perform.
Harley was the reason why I started doing this and the reason why I was a fan of pro wrestling.
Yeah, he was a great guy. I would see you there at practice every now and then, and he was always full of laughter. He always had practical jokes, and he's definitely missed. It's an energy that we don't feel there anymore when we're at practice. We feel him in spirit. Physically he's not there, but I really think that after Harley passed, everyone, the family of World League Wrestling definitely got a lot closer. I feel it for sure, and I know that ever since he's passed, every time performers have gone out and wrestled, I feel like they do better every single time.
If you could wrestle anyone, who would you pick?
If I could wrestle anyone, right now, I would definitely say the Fiend, Bray Wyatt. I think what he's doing is really cool, and not a lot of people really hold up too long against him. But I think I could give him a run for his money. Yeah, Bray Wyatt.
If you could have 3 wishes granted, what would you wish for?
3 wishes granted. That's big. Definitely, I'm going to hit the basics. Like world peace, that'd be nice. World peace would be good. I wish everyone could be happy, healthy, no poor people, no, things like that. That's always sad. But the third thing I would wish for is the ability to eat all the macadamia nut cookies I could and then not have to worry about losing my 6-pack or getting out of shape. I love macadamia nut cookies. I would eat them for breakfast, lunch, and dinner if I could, but they're not necessarily the best for me, so I can't. So I'm going to sneak one in for me after we take care of everybody else. For sure.
I can agree with that.
Good. They're good, man. Everyone would normally say like chocolate chip. Macadamia nut cookies are way underrated. Like they are awesome. When I was deployed, they made fresh macadamia nut cookies, and I would eat them with vanilla ice cream every day. I was in the gym for like 3 hours every day, so it balanced out fine. But yeah, macadamia nut cookies are where it's at.
I'm jealous of that.
Well, if you ever want unlimited macadamia nut cookies, Guantanamo Bay is the place to go. Wouldn't recommend it, but you'll get free cookies all you want.
Who is Sean Patrick, and why should my viewers get to know you as a wrestler?
Who is Sean Patrick? So, that's a good question. So I'm myself. That's a big thing. Is there's no alias. There's no nothing. Sean Patrick is me. I take a lot from my ancestry. I take a lot from the hardworking men and women of my family. I believe in the ability to help others at all time, and by doing professional wrestling, I really feel like I can build myself a platform that can benefit, not only the sport that I'm super passionate about. I love everything about professional wrestling, the ins and the outs, but also it gives you a platform to be more than just yourself. So that person, Sean Patrick, on the surface, the guy that works a job and he's training to be a pro wrestler, might not be a superhero for anybody, but Sean Patrick in the ring can actually be an inspiration for anyone out there, whether or not they are bullied at school or they're feeling sick or anything like that. At the end of the day, we go out there and we get to do what we love. So if I can go out there and be that inspiration for someone, then I know at the end of the day, I did what I wanted to do by joining pro wrestling, by being that inspiration for somebody.
That's the end. Thanks for the interview.
Thanks, AJ.
I hope you enjoyed this episode of the AJ Awesome Show. I would like to thank Sean Patrick for being my special guest. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. I'll see you next time.